ABC Big 2 News.
Developing now at 10, we start the night with the arrest of a local man. Police are charging him with 2 counts of indecent exposure. Police say he exposed himself to women in the parking lots of Midland. Good evening, I'm Stephanie Martinez.
And I'm Rob Tuke. ABC Big 2's Rachel Hallam has new details tonight of this disturbing arrest.
His name is Abraham Suarez Rocha. MPD arrested him for 2 counts of indecent exposure, and officers say he beckoned women to his car window and then exposed himself. The Midland Police Department responded to a 911 call from the Midland Park Mall on December 30th in the afternoon. According to a probable cause affidavit, the woman who made the call told police the man exposed himself inside his white Nissan in the parking lot. She says he asked her if she wanted to watch him. After responding to the scene, investigators found the suspect and was identified by the witness as 28-year-old Abraham Suarez Rocha. According to the affidavit, Rocha was placed in the patrol car where he confessed to the crime, saying it was all a joke. After being asked how many times he had done the incident, Rocha said this was the 2nd time. Officers then reached out to another caller who had also reported the same incident earlier that day. The woman then agreed to return to the scene to identify the suspect. Upon her arrival, she was able to confirm it was Rocha. Both counts of indecent exposure are considered misdemeanors. In the studio, Rachel Hallam, ABC Big 2 News.
Also developing tonight, an Army veteran got a terrifying call from her local police department. The call left her in a panic.
And come to find out, it was a scam call that sounded very real. Aria Jones has more on this fake phone call that turned into this woman's worst nightmare.
Sherry Ledford learned not to be so trusting after a call she'll never forget.
All I could do was just think about my mom and that I would never do anything to hurt her or hurt anyone.
Thursday, the Army veteran says her phone rang and a man she thought was a police officer was on the line.
He gave me his full name, his rank. The phone number that patched through on my phone was actually the Olive Branch Police Department, and he also gave me his badge number.
Ledford says the caller told her she missed a January 3rd court hearing as a witness in a molestation case.
Well, he said that the judge had ordered a gag order on me, and that due to HIPAA, that I was to maintain confidentiality.
Ledford told the man she was on active duty at the time he told her the signature was forged.
But I knew that I wasn't even around to have received a subpoena.
That's when the caller transferred her to a second officer to discuss the forgery. Then a turning point after an hour. She was asked to go alone, bring a large amount of cash to pay for her alleged federal offenses. She says her husband intervened, questioning the credibility of the officers, and the caller hung up.
I think they were going to rob me, yes, definitely. Because he said the Walgreens would require me to have $6,000 cash.
The Olive Branch Police Department told WREG they received multiple calls about an officer impersonation scam regarding court dates, posting this message on Facebook, reminding people they do not make calls of that nature.
I want all of my friends, family, and neighbors to know that you need to be careful and never, ever go anywhere where they ask you to take money.
In Arlington, Bria Jones.
To stay up to date with more developing news and other top stories, just head to our website, yourbasin.com.
And across Texas tonight, just outside of Wichita Falls, 30 train cars derailed in Wilbridger County. Firefighters say at least 10 cars are still on fire tonight. The train cars were carrying denatured alcohol. Highway 287 was shut down while crews disconnected train cars and knocked down those flames. And tonight, a Houston teacher is accused of putting her own child in danger. Police say she took him to a COVID testing site in the trunk of her car.
Now she's facing a felony charge. Brianna Connor shows us the moment deputies served her a warrant.
With a warrant in hand, deputies went into this Jersey Village home looking for Sarah Beam. The Cy-Fair ISD 10th grade English teacher is wanted for felony child endangerment.
When the kids come to my room, it's important for me to make it a comfortable environment where they want to be.
But investigators with the Cy-Fair ISD Police Department say she wasn't worried about her own son's comfort when he possibly came down with the coronavirus. Charging documents show that on Monday, Beam took the 13-year-old to a testing site at Pridgeon Stadium, unrestrained in the trunk of her car.
That's sick. That's terrible. You don't put anybody in a trunk.
Beam told the district's health director at the site that she was trying to keep herself from being exposed to the virus. That person had the child taken out of the trunk and called 911.
I don't sympathize with that at all. I wouldn't jeopardize my health for my children. I would have all my children right in front of me in my car. If I got it, I got it. If I didn't, I didn't. My kids would come first.
People we talked to called Beam's behavior bizarre, especially considering the fact that her career centers around children.
She's a teacher. I'd rip her license from her in 5 minutes. That's not caring for children.
Cy-Fair ISD says she's been employed in the district since 2011, most recently at Cypress Falls High School. Beam is currently on leave from her job and still wanted by deputies who left her Jersey Village home Friday night without making an arrest.
The Biden administration vaccine rules for large private companies and certain healthcare facilities had their first major test before the nation's highest court. The OSHA rules requires businesses with 100 or more employees to get the vaccine or have weekly testing. That's the case for healthcare workers in facilities receiving Medicaid or Medicare funding from the federal government.
And our Monica Madden breaks down those arguments and what this might mean for Texas, which has sued over both matters.
The burden is left on the employer.
Jerry Schultz runs a healthcare facility in Austin. One of 76,000 told they need to require COVID vaccinations for staff. Although the requirements for facilities receiving Medicare and Medicaid funding is currently blocked in Texas, the back and forth in the courts has led him to instruct his employees to roll up their sleeves.
How can I take that kind of risk? I have to have on file in your record that you're vaccinated.
Texas has been one of the leaders in both challenges before the Supreme Court. On Friday, justices looked to answer one key question.
Do these agencies have the authority to do what they're doing in general with respect to being able to impose vaccine mandates?
Conservative justices cast doubt that OSHA has authority for the vaccine or test rule covering more than 80 million Americans.
It sounds like the sort of thing that states will be responding to or should be, and that Congress should be responding to or should be, rather than agency by agency.
As for healthcare vaccine mandates, the court could rule differently.
It seemed based on the questioning that the court was a little bit more receptive to the idea that this mandate makes more sense in the healthcare.
As for Texas, if the court decides to let these rules stay in place, Governor Abbott's ban on vaccine mandates would be void.
We're kind of in limbo. To me, there's a real question about whether Governor Abbott had the authority to do that.
And that was Monica Madden reporting. The Supreme Court took this case up on an emergency basis since the OSHA mandate is set to be enforced starting on Monday. This means there could be a ruling in the coming days. And if you're planning on being outdoors when temperatures drop around the basin, you'll want to be ready. Some experts are weighing in on frostbite. It can take just 30 minutes of being outside to get exposed to frostbite. The first warning sign is the feeling of pins and needles, followed by the body getting more numb. The best thing to do is to get inside or cover all exposed areas with warm clothes.
You want to keep them warm till the skin turns back to normal color and people in those areas are feeling well.
And it's also good to think of your elderly neighbors or relatives during these colder nights. Time now for a check on our weather with Bridget.
Now, your Big 2 forecast first.
Well, friends, hello to the weekend, but not only hello to the weekend, but hello to the sun. The sun had said hello to all of West Texas today, bringing us some warm temperatures. West Texas were definitely able to enjoy 74-degree temperatures. Usually around this time in January, West Texas are definitely used to 58 degrees. But you know what? Even though we were warm, we weren't as warm as how we were back in 1969 when we were sitting at a nice and steamy 81 degrees. I'll have more of today's warm forecast later on in the show. Back over to you guys.
We will have 2 lottery jackpot winners tonight. Coming up, a gas station owner reacts to selling one of those winning tickets.
And if you just missed the Cowboys game, what a game. Don't worry, we got highlights from their regular season finale. All that and more coming up after the break. Stay with us.
Oh, I missed you.
You just want to video call the kids.
Okay. Hush, little baby.
Don't say a word. But if slow upload speeds turn your good night call into an accidental horror movie,
Can you hear me?
shut it down. Just remember, you're not a bad mom. You just need better internet.
AT&T Fiber delivers faster upload speeds for more reliable video calls. Get AT&T Fiber, plan starting at $35 a month for a year. Limited availability in select areas. Call 877, only ATT.
Are you ready?
I am set and go.
ABC Tuesday. Critics are raving about the hit comedy with 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Do you want to go celebrate with me?
You know I can't be seen in public with you.
A simple no would be fine.
Abbott Elementary, Tuesday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
When you have a big family like ours, you're always looking for a great value. That's why we bought our new home from A1 Homes. We traded in our mobile home and got a great deal on a new one. The best part, now another family can purchase our pre-owned home at a great price. A1 Homes can also help you find land and financing. They have homes perfect for any size family. A1 Homes, trade in, trade up, serving Midland and Odessa. Se habla español.
A1 is number 1.
Why hide your skin if Dupixent has your moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis under control?
Hide our skin, not us.
Because Dupixent targets a root cause of eczema, it helps heal your skin from within, keeping you one step ahead of it. And for kids ages 6 and up, that means clearer skin and noticeably less itch.
Hide my skin? Not me.
By helping to control eczema with Dupixent, you can change how their skin looks and feels. And that's the kind of change you notice.
Hide my skin? Not me.
Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, or a parasitic infection. If you take asthma medicines, don't change or stop them without talking to your doctor. When you help heal your skin from within, you can show more with less eczema. Talk to your child's eczema specialist about Dupixent, a breakthrough eczema treatment.
We're your local weather authority. We warn you first. Our team is working around the clock to keep you and your family safe. What you need to know on ABC Big 2 News. Watch Good Morning Basin from 5 to 7 on ABC Big 2. We're your weather authority. We warn you first.
Well, friends, the weekend is here, but not only that, the sun was here in the basin and it brought really great temperatures for everyone. Taking a look at our map, it shows that everyone really sat in their 70s. Midland, Odessa, 74 degrees, Big Spring, 76, Seminole, 73. Our friends at Presidio, where it's always nice and warm, made it to 76 degrees. But there were some areas such as El Paso sitting at a mere 69 degrees. Definitely not too bad whatsoever. Like I said, everyone pretty much sitting in their 70s, so we'll take what we can get. Speaking of today, it was a warm day for the Midland and Odessa area. Taking a look at our normal temperatures, around this time in January, we're definitely used to 58 degrees. Yes, we came in at 74 degrees, warm, but not as warm as how we were back in 1969, where we were sitting at a hot and steamy 81 degrees. Taking a look at our lows, that was warm as well. 36 degrees for our low today. Usually around this time in January, we're definitely used to 32 degrees. We weren't as cold as how we were back in 1967 when we were sitting at only 10 degrees. Not bad whatsoever. Now, because it was very nice and warm today, not going to happen so much for tomorrow. Right now, we are sitting at 59 degrees, Midland, Odessa, tying with Big Spring, 56 over in Seminole. Presidio still warm with us at 63 degrees, tying with Big Bend. So not bad whatsoever. But we get into Sunday, and that cold front is coming on in from the north, causing Midland, Odessa to be at 51 degrees by 6 a.m. We're going to continue to see that cold front staying in the basin until 10 p.m. into the evening. 41 degrees for Midland, Odessa, along with Big Spring, 39 for Seminole, and then Presidio sitting warm like it usually does at 52 degrees. Not bad whatsoever. That cold front is really going to stay with us at the beginning of that new week, all the way up until we get into Wednesday. That's when we see that cold front leaving the basin, so we'll be able to enjoy 40 45-degree temperatures by 3 a.m. Now, taking a closer look at tomorrow's temperatures, like I did say, it's going to be a cold front tomorrow. So by 8 a.m., 37 degrees, but we do warm up to 4 p.m. by 51 degrees. It's still going to be chilly, but not bad whatsoever. But then we get into the evening, we'll be sitting at a nice and cool 40 degrees. Taking a look at our winds, not bad whatsoever. The winds are going to continue to be very windy like how they were today. Around noon, we'll be sitting at 17 miles per hour mid-and Odessa, but throughout the entire Permian Basin, everyone will remain in their double digits, so not bad whatsoever. We do cool down, our speed does cool down to 5 miles per hour by Monday, so not bad whatsoever. Taking a look at our allergy podcaster, it does show that everything will be pretty much at a low level, so not bad whatsoever. But our 7-day forecast does show that, we are still going to remain in that cold front all the way up until Tuesday. Wednesday we'll be sitting at nice and dry 62 degrees, and then we're going to have some rain come Thursday. Now, Stephanie and Rob, we're going to have, I hope you enjoyed today's temperature. 74 degrees compared to 51 tomorrow.
Honestly, it felt so nice just to get some sunshine in my back as I came to work,
Yeah, we were certainly teased. I mean, we're lucky it's, nice and beautiful outside. It's nice and crisp. I'm afraid of what's coming up next.
Oh, don't be. We'll be okay.
Well, thank you, Bridget. Well, let's talk about that massive lottery jackpot. It was $632 million, and 2 winning tickets were sold in Wisconsin and California. The winners have the option of splitting the cash option, $450 million. So what you could do with that money. All right, it's one of the largest in the history of the Powerball game. 14 other tickets won several $1 million.
I've been here a long time, and it would be great to see a regular winner.
Now, the winning ticket holders have half a year, 180 days to come forward to claim their prize.
Turning to the NFL now, the league is looking into availability of stadiums outside of California, including Arlington AT&T Stadium. That's in case the league needs a replacement venue for this year's Super Bowl. Super Bowl 56 is currently scheduled to take place Sunday, February 13th. It's set to happen at the brand new SoFi Stadium near Los Angeles. We're joined now by ABC Big 2's Avi carr-gloth for sports. Avi, we just saw the Cowboys put on a ton of points.
Yeah, touchdown after touchdown. Break it down for us, Avi.
Touchdown after touchdown is right. Many of you tuning in just saw the Cowboys' regular season finale in Philly. The Cowboys, they made the choice to play many of their starters, even though their chances of improving their playoff seed were pretty small. But Dak, Zeke, and the starters, they wanted to stay fresh. So here we go. Out to Lincoln Financial Field we go. Eagles resting their starting quarterback, Jalen Hurts, for the playoffs. They know they'll be in, starting Gardner Minshew instead. Dak Prescott, he did start. The Cowboys will try to build some momentum. Eagles, they get down to the goal line on the game's first drive on 3rd and goal. Minshew with a shuffle pass to Tyree Jackson for the 3-yard score. Jackson, a former college quarterback, scores his first career touchdown. Philly fans loving that. 7-0 Eagles. Cowboys, though, they would respond on their first drive. Dak Prescott checks it down to Cedric Wilson, who waltzes right into the end zone on a 14-yard touchdown. He receives a sea of boos from the Philadelphia crowd. We're tied at 7. Second quarter, we're tied at 10. Prescott drops back off his back foot. He finds Wilson again. 24 yards and the touchdown. He breaks the goal line for his second score of the game. Dallas in front 17-10. The Eagles, though, they would answer their very next drive. Kenneth Gainwell takes the outside handoff, 7 yards to knot this game back up. We are tied at 17. The energy in the crowd was vibrant from the get-go, but with less than 2 minutes to go in the first half and the same score, Prescott to Dalton Schultz. That's an easy touchdown on the 2-yard score. Prescott is rolling. That's his 3rd touchdown of the game. Cowboys would go up 6 after Greg Zuerlein missed the extra point. A horrific punt by the Eagles, though, would give the Cowboys another shot with 9 seconds left in the first half. Prescott to Schultz again. Dak is fired up after the 9-yard touchdown. Cowboys would be up 30-17 at the half. Fourth quarter, Cowboys, they're up 10. Prescott to the former Eagle, Corey Clement, for an 8-yard touchdown, a career-high 5th touchdown for Dak Prescott. The Cowboys would win big in Philly, a 50-burger, 51-26. And the Texas Tech Red Raiders hosting the Kansas Jayhawks. A big Big 12 matchup to get things going between two ranked teams. Inside play to Adonis Arms, a contested three from the wing. Only 3.5 for Tech. They'd go up 6. 40 seconds left in the first half. Tech up 6 still. Bryson Williams, a nice hook shot there going fishing. Tech would be up 8 at half. Into the second half we go. 13 minutes left. And a nice play there by Williams. Easy 3. Texas Tech would be up 11. Williams would finish with 22 points and 8 rebounds. But here come the Jayhawks. Big play there from Ochai Agbaji with a quick sugar 3. Tech, Kansas within 5. Agbaji would finish with 24 points. But Tech would keep it going. Malik Wilson, an open 3. Tech up by 9 at this point, and then under 3 to go. Kansas within 5, but Tech would answer. Clarence Natalie would hit the reverse layup. Tech would win by 8, 75-56. But going back to that Cowboys game, guys, 51-26. That is score-agami. That is the 1,072nd unique score in NFL history. When you don't win, you root for score-agami, but in this case, the Cowboys fans, they get both.
Yeah, the Cowboys dropping a 50-piece. Someone saying on social media that the Cowboys need some extra security after what they did to the Eagles tonight.
But it was a great game overall, honestly.
And gotta love the score-agami, too.
All right, well, thank you for that, Avi. Up next, after the break, we remember the legacy of actor Sidney Poitier, the Hollywood star whose elegant bearing and principal characters made him an iconic trailblazer.
As we head to break, a reminder that if you see news happening, share your videos, photos on social media with us. Make sure you use the hashtag ABC Big 2 News.
And if you haven't done it yet, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We are ABC Big 2 News.
For all-day pain relief. Aleve it and see what's possible. And also try Aleve X topical pain relief.
At Denver Mattress, we believe a little tranquility goes a long way. So add a little tranquility into your sleep with the Colorado mattress. Packed with over 500 individually wrapped coils. And made in the USA at our very own Denver Mattress Factory, the Colorado mattress is the perfect combination of comfort and value. Visit your local Denver Mattress today and take one home for only $499.99. The Colorado mattress only at Denver Mattress. The easiest way to get the right mattress.
The perfect getaway.
Let's go.
Okay, thank you. Stay connected anywhere.
It's so pretty.
Do you like it? It's a new style. It's an oasis.
It's delicious.
It's elegant. It's relaxing.
The MCM Elegante Hotel and Spa.
Grand Canyon University, a Christian university, is one of the largest and fastest growing universities in the country, offering over 200 engaging programs online. Praised for its culture of community, students build meaningful professional relationships with faculty who become partners in your success. GCU's online students received over $100 million in scholarships in 2020. Visit gcu.edu/myoffer to see the scholarships you qualify for.
Are you looking for a job in the fast-paced world of news? ABC Big 2 is currently hiring for the following positions. Qualified applicants, head over to yourbasin.com and click on Work for Us under the Jobs tab.
New at 10, tributes are pouring in from around the world following the death of the actor Sidney Poitier.
Yeah, the 94-year-old opened the door for black actors in the film industry. And as ABC's Chris Conley shows us, he left a big mark on more than just Hollywood.
I drive a man around in his limousine and I say, yes, sir, and no, sir, and shall I take the drive, sir? Mama.
A groundbreaking movie star of singular power and charisma, whose many triumphs changed lives. The great Sidney Poitier made history, on screen and off.
Where you get yourself another boy.
In 1964, Poitier became the first black performer ever to win the Academy Award for Best Actor for his acclaimed work in Lilies of the Field.
all I can say is a very special thank you.
Throughout the 1960s, Poitier would embody leadership and moral authority as he confronted white racism.
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
As Virgil Tibbs for In the Heat of the Night, Oscar's 1967 Best Picture, unforgettable in a role he'd revisit for They Call Me Mr. Tibbs. As an unconventional London school teacher in To Sir with Love.
Mom, this is John.
And in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, as a fiancé introduced to his wary prospective in-laws, played by Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn, among the first Hollywood films to deal with interracial romance. In anything he did, whether he was speaking, moving, or just listening, taking your eyes off of Sidney Poitier on screen was all but impossible. Poitier also knew how many eyes were on him always, understood keenly how he carried with him the long-denied hopes of black Americans. I felt as if I were representing 15, 18 million people with every move I made, he once said. Later, Poitier found a home in the rollicking comedies of the 1970s, starring in such hits as Uptown Saturday Night, which he also directed. In the 90s, he acted alongside Robert Redford, James Earl Jones, and the late River Phoenix in the political caper picture Sneakers.
I couldn't and still can't play a scene. I cannot play a scene that I don't find the texture of humanity.
He would receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Obama in 2009. At the Oscars in 2002, he would be given an honorary statue and would be seated in a box as Denzel Washington won Best Actor for Training Day and acknowledged his hero and role model.
40 years I've been chasing Sidney. They finally give it to me. What they do? They give it to him the same night. I'll always be chasing you, Sidney. I'll always be following in your footsteps.
A goosebump moment of greatness, appreciating greatness, only made possible by the courage and compassion of Sidney Poitier, who died Friday at the age of 94, leaving behind a world he transformed for the better.
Coming up tonight, new video of dramatic rescue. Some deputies are being hailed as heroes for pulling a woman to safety. We'll be right back.
ABC Big 2 Sports, brought to you by Glasheen Valles and Enderman Injury Lawyers.
All across this country, a nation of doers, fighters, and dreamers are beginning a new day with hope for tomorrow. Because our future doesn't belong to the lighthearted, it belongs to the brave. There's a new morning program which will celebrate the best of us. This is news for all America. It's Morning in America.
Hi, honey.
Oh, I missed you.
You just want a video call the kids.
Okay. Hush, little baby.
Don't say a word. But if slow upload speeds turn your good night call into an accidental horror movie,
Can you hear me?
shut it down. Just remember, you're not a bad mom. You just need better internet.
AT&T Fiber delivers faster upload speeds for more reliable video calls. Get AT&T Fiber, plan starting at $35 a month for a year. Limited availability in select areas. Call 877, only ATT.
The Sand Hill Stock Show and Rodeo is back again. Come out to the Ector County Coliseum, January 6th through the 15th for no-holds-barred rodeo action. This is the most intense rodeo competition in the Permian Basin. Cheer these cowboys and cowgirls on as they ride and rope to qualify for the National Finals Rodeo. The Sand Hill Stock Show and Rodeo, brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Tickets on sale at boxofficesolutions.net.
I think you'll agree a beautiful room in your home just changes everything. Like this Tilly sofa and love seat and the long-wearing fabric. It's only $24.82, less than $50 a month. But I want to make it better by giving you 20% of your entire purchase and extra furniture free. Maybe you want to add a handmade rug, beautiful accessories. It's all up to you. And as you'd expect, you always get 60 months to pay and never bothered with those pesky shopper stalkers. That's only at Bob Mills.
Someone in there?
Yes, there's somebody.
New body cam video to show you tonight of a dramatic rescue near Tampa, Florida. Deputies rushed to save a woman from a burning car after a wrong-way head-on crash. Now, those deputies used 3 fire extinguishers to knock down those flames before bending the driver's door and getting the woman out. Right now, her condition is unknown.
In Massachusetts, one trooper says a car speeding down the highway with its hazard lights on turned out the driver's girlfriend was going into labor. That's when troopers Jose Cabrera helped the woman into the back of his cruiser and took her to the hospital. A few hours later, a baby boy was born, safe and sound.
Touching story. And check this out. Police in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania pulled this car over because of a suspected DUI, but officers noticed what looked like a live animal in the back. Sure enough, the people in the car said they hit a deer, but didn't realize it was alive and kept driving. Officers freed the deer, but the 19-year-old driver had to stay. She was arrested.
Coming up after the break, Bridget will have one last look at the forecast.
Stay tuned.
Hey Jack, how'd you get the new spicy club sandwich to have the perfect amount of spice?
I call it Jack's Spice Squad.
Who's in the squad?
It's me. My new Spicy Cluck Sandwich Combo. It's my best chicken ever.
We're optimizing your connections. Our new smart Wi-Fi 6 technology powered by Optimum features mesh coverage for a better whole home Wi-Fi experience. Now with an extender included, you'll get Wi-Fi even in those hard-to-reach places. Stream, work, and game faster, all on one powerful mesh Wi-Fi network. Greater whole home coverage is here with Smart Wi-Fi 6, now including a free Wi-Fi extender with select internet packages.
At USAA, we've been called too exclusive because we were created for officers. But as we've evolved with the military, we've grown to serve all who've honorably served, no matter their rank or when they were in. A Marine just out of boot camp, or a petty officer from 73, and even his kids and their kids. USAA is made for all who honorably serve and their eligible family members. Are we still exclusive? Absolutely. And that's exactly why you should join.
Honey, what was your favorite part of the weekend?
Wow. When can we come back?
My new Spicy Cluck Sandwich with a bigger, crispier, and better than ever spicy filet. Bigger pickles, more sauce, and the perfect amount of spice to get your taste buds tingling. Try my new $5.99 Spicy Cluck Sandwich Combo. Order on the Jack app today.
Well, friends, let's take one last look at that 7-day forecast. But before we do that, we all know that today was definitely a warm day in the Permian Basin, not just for Midland, Odessa. We sat at a high of 74 degrees, but some other areas too. However, that warmth is actually going to leave us, and we're going to have that cold front coming on in. It's going to start around 4 a.m., but then it really starts getting and settling in by noon, and we'll be sitting at a nice and steamy 46 degrees. Some will say steamy, some will say cold. And then we continue on setting in, that cold front continues to set it in by 11 p.m., 41 degrees, and that cold front's really going to stay in the basin as we continue on with the rest of our upcoming week, all the way up until Wednesday. That's when we actually sit at 44 degrees by 4 a.m., so definitely not too bad whatsoever. That 7-day forecast is actually going to show that tomorrow is not going to be it's not going to be a sunny Sunday. It's actually going to be a very cool kind of Sunday at 51 degrees. Not bad whatsoever. Like I did say, that cold front is why we're actually going to be in our 50s. Not bad whatsoever, Stephania and Rob.
No, absolutely. It's beautiful weather.
Well, yeah, thank you, Bridget. Well, you don't see this every day. One sea lion found himself pretty far from the ocean. Check it out. Drivers in San Diego had to slow down, causing a major traffic jam.
A man and a woman helped escort the sea lion from harm's way. Of course, we don't recommend doing that at home, getting out onto the highway, but police later showed up to save him. It's still not clear how the 200-pound guy wound up on the highway. And I did read that SeaWorld ended up taking in the sea lion, but what was he doing on the highway so far from the ocean? It's just a little mystery tonight.
That is a mystery.
Honestly, if I was on the highway, I'd be so amazed. I'll stop and take some pictures, honestly.
And it's a good thing they got out before, of course, a car hits them. Normally we talk about deer or even bears on the highway, but a sea lion? That's something else different.
It sure is.
Well, that's all the time we have for news tonight.
Thank you so much for joining us, and see you tomorrow.